the stage, doesn't it? Would you want to take a trip to Mars with your spouse? A private company recently announced they are looking to send a married couple to Mars. It would mean a year and a half in a small, confined spaceship with the person that you love the very, very, very most. Doesn't that sound romantic? Aside from the gravity and the atmosphere issues, your first worry just might be who's going to kill each other first. Studio 5 relationship coach Matt Townsend is here. Okay, I doubt any of our viewers are going to sign up for the mission.
They'd be crazy.
I mean, right?
Well, by the way, it's only a year and a half because they're not landing.
Oh.
If they were going to land, it would be a 3-year mission.
See, that's a commitment right there. But you say, okay, so maybe you're not going to sign up for that, realistically. I never in a million years would. But you say there are some things to learn from this idea of a mission to Mars.
Well, that's what got us thinking, because in order to make it, you have to be able to basically sit in a space the size of an RV, right, for roughly 3 years if we were going to land. And the crazy thing about it, it takes 4 to 6 months just to get there, 4 to 6 months to come back. So there's a bunch of things that have to be aligned. The number one thing is time.
Yeah.
Do you even like being together and have enough time with each other to make anything work? Which
we can joke about that concept, but seriously, as you just mentioned before the break, I mean, retiree couples face this all the time. They have more time together, more space together, and they just don't know what to do.
You remember, the divorce rate goes up about 16% the minute we retire. So the minute we now have time to do everything we said we were always going to do, now the divorce rate goes up. So here's a little homework assignment for you. If you want to get ready for retirement, for just anything, for just your partner being injured and unable to go to work anymore, start spending more time together. We have got to start spending more time with each other. Most couples I know do everything they can without each other. It's like pitiful, but we divide and conquer to make everything work.
Yeah.
But if you want to really make this work, you're going to have a ton of time, 4 to 6 months on the spaceship if we're going there, but you have to learn to actually, you know, want to be together, want to go to these places together. You could be spending a lot more time together, shopping. We could go do the grocery shopping together. What if we didn't do it separately? What if we, instead of one person doing the dishes and the other one was sleeping, what if we actually started spending time together? If you can't spend time together, you're not gonna do so well when we're retired.
And there's an efficiency concept here. I have to confess, like I think it's maybe a woman thing, but I'm always divide and conquer. I go to the grocery store, you go to the post office, or whatever. My hubby's really good about saying, let's just go together.
Well, what's our assumption?
Well, that you get more done.
And we'll have time eventually.
It's easier, and then, down the road.
No, the funny thing is when you were first dating, you would go everywhere together. My daughter that's newly married, they'll go shopping together.
Sure.
They'll do dishes together. They'll do everything together because they love each other. Then eventually we burn it out of us.
And is it something you really can practice then? Like the more time you spend together, the easier it gets to be together?
And exactly. I think how could you be better at something that you haven't worked on?
True.
We want to be together. Now, I mean, also you got to have better time together. When you're together, you got to do some other things differently, right? So here's the next one. You have to somehow trust each other. One of the big problems going to Mars is that we have to trust each other. The only way you're going to eat and thrive and survive is if you guys can grow your own food, find your own water, make everything happen up there. The problem with our marriages is we don't necessarily know how to grow trust. Here's one of the best ways, and this is a homework assignment for everyone. You grow your trust through intentionally risking together. Most of us don't risk enough with each other.
How can we risk? What's an example of risk?
One risk might be me taking a dance class with my wife.
Has that happened?
No.
Oh.
But I'm not crazy. But if all of a sudden we had time together and then I risked to do something she wanted to do and she risked to do something I wanted to do, that risking together where I had to rely on her to help me through the dance class or taking a class together, just any kind of class, you know, in the community, learning together, working together means we have to trust each other.
Would me stepping into the batting cages at Boondocks
on Saturday
night
and I saw that picture, and you don't wear a bun when you're wearing a batting helmet.
My caption was, high buns and helmets don't mix. But I did it, I risked, and I even hit the ball.
You know, by the way, and you guys were out together and you were risking. Those two things, if we would do a little bit more of it, a dance class, walking, going out, and like if you don't like to be social, go out and be social with your wife and let her lead you in the social engagement so that you can grow together and trust each other. If we're going to go to Mars, or not even at Mars, if you're just going to go to Uganda together to serve a mission for your church, guess what? You got to trust each other.
And do the small things like taking a dance class or stepping in a batting cage, do those really, I mean, they're kind of trivial and silly, but do they equate to real trust down the road?
Especially when you can see that I've got your back. I've got your back. When we go to dance class, and I know that's embarrassing for you, Matt, I'll take care of you.
Nice.
I'll make sure I don't leave you out there hanging. When you're batting with a bun on your head, I'll make sure you don't take a ball right in the kisser.
Helmet on the bun, which was on my head.
On.
And I want pictures of your dance class.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen. Third one's communication. If we're going to go to Mars, we got to talk. Did you know that when you're up there, just so you know, in case you go to Mars, you're going to have, most of your days are going to be spent driving around Mars looking for landing sites and water.
That sounds fun.
So think of all the talk we're going to have. Think about what my wife's going to say to me. Oh, you're coming close to that meteor. Watch out. Oh, watch out. It's going to be the longest. It's going to be the longest conversation ever. So here's the rule. I think we need to talk, talk, talk. We need more talk.
Again, practice.
3 times more talk than we normally do. I believe the average healthy couple that I see has about 10 hours of good, healthy conversation a week.
Triple our talk. That's the assignment?
Most of my struggling couples have 3 hours.
Wow.
Triple your talk. Good, healthy conversation where we're building, where it's positive, where it's productive.
Lastly, you say there's a friendship element to all of this.
Can you imagine being 3 years in an RV without having a friend? So our goal is we have to start spending some time and learning how to be an unconditional friend. Most of us aren't unconditional. Most of us love each other conditionally. And I would love you even more if you do these 3 things. And we give each other a list.
Yeah.
I want you to get used to being with somebody and learning to grow an unconditional love for them by not requiring anything from them. Can you sit with somebody and not require that they pick up their game for you? And instead just find the joy of being the friend, being an unconditional friend. Most of our relationships go with a lot of conditions. And it's sad because nobody wants to think that I'm so broken that you have to fix me. Can you just love me for me? Can you just like me being me? Or do I have to always be something more and we're going to go do the next step to be even better? Just learn to love each other unconditionally. Imagine you're in the middle of Mars and you're stuck with a friend that is unconditional.
That's the person you want to be stuck with.
That's not even Mars, that's heaven.
Ah,
That's
love it.
heaven.
Love it. Matt, thank you so much. You've got a cool event coming up that couples can sign up for.
This is the funnest thing. This is actually for couples, but families. Some people have families that they're sick and tired of. So we're doing a thing in Sandy Amphitheater, a big date night with Peter Breinholt called Building Families That Last. This is in June 22nd. It's actually later, I thought. June 22nd, I guess, 7 p.m. Here's what we're doing, though. You bring your in-laws, your parents, your brother-in-law, your sister-in-laws. You bring all of your family, and I'm going to talk about what makes families last. And I'm going to talk about you need to separate. You maybe moms and dads need to leave their kids alone a little bit. I'm going to talk about all the family dynamics that happen in extended families. So bring all of your family members. It's a huge date night at Sandy Amphitheater.
Awesome.
Go to MattTownsend.com. It's going to be huge.
Family date
Peter
night.
Breinholt singing too.
Peter, Matt, good combination.
Can't beat that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, and for those of you not planning a trip to Mars but still might need some direction later in the show, Matt is going to take your relationship questions, including how to get your kids to open up. So that's still ahead on today's show. But first, it's high.